GOAT door, right? Okay, I want some rings, and you realize, hey, Michael Jordan ain't in here, y'all. he ain't in this door, y'all. He's somewhere else.
He's not gonna come back young.
He ain't in this door, right? And it's just one of those things where we're what we're as players, we're factoring in our numbers, right? Our rings, and saying, no, we should be able, I have leading title. I beat him in every stat. Why y'all not putting me in front of him? And the answer is he was the NBA. So when Bird and Magic was, battling, and when Jordan came in, what they seen was a whole different animal, right? You're seeing something that is different, moves different, talks different, approaches the game different, swag, phenomenal, right? This is the best thing we've seen, right? I don't give a fuck what he does. This is the best player we've ever seen, right? It was the eye test, right? 88, 87, 88, like he literally went from the wings. They took the wings off. He got the logo. Yeah. They gave him a logo in 88. People don't realize that he got the logo in 88, right? They took the wings off and say, you got Jordan, right? So that whole campaign, and that is considered the greatest individual year anybody could have had. That's when he became the best player ever. There was no ring. There was the rings is just what they get to use now. 6, it was just the way he did it. He carried what we have now, solo mission. It's hard to beat solo mission with stats. LeBron can win 6 rings right now.
But he won solo.
They're not giving it to him. Yeah. Right? You're not giving a dude who started this joint. Yeah. Right? It's just
it's tough to do.
It's tough. Yeah. Like, so basically everybody just fighting for second.
Yeah. That's an interesting take right there.
But you're talking about 88, 89, right? They're saying he's the best player in the world who's ever played this game. You got somebody with 11 rings. They're like, oh, I did it against white folks, right? Then you have, same thing with Wilt. No matter what it is, it wasn't against like 78 when it merged, and you had the best in the world all in one building. That's when stats really mattered.
Yeah.
When everybody in the world is all together. Yeah. Right? Julius Erving, all of them, George Gervin. Yeah, now we're going to see. So when he came and like, oh, what's this? This is God right here. This him.
Yeah.
The problem ain't that you're fighting for, his greatness. You're saying all his positives on why he is, but everybody's negative on why they shouldn't be. Right? That's the problem. Why you got to use all the negatives on why this person can't be Jordan. And that's what I'm like, well, like what negatives do you hear about Magic game, Jordan game? You don't hear nothing negative about their game, but they can tell you all ours.
Right.
Shit, motherfucker couldn't go left. He couldn't do this. He couldn't do that. They couldn't even dribble. Right. They couldn't even dribble the ball. What are you talking about? Like, God damn.
Gilbert Arenas once dropped a take that hit the basketball world like a thunderbolt, and most people still haven't fully processed what it means. His argument was simple but seismic. Michael Jordan doesn't belong in the same GOAT conversation as Magic Johnson, Kobe Bryant, or LeBron James. He walks through an entirely different door, one that was unlocked in 1988. That year didn't come with a championship, no finals MVP, no trophy parade, but it delivered something far more rare: universal recognition. In a sports culture built around rings and banners, Jordan broke the entire system before anyone even noticed. With 0 titles and 0 finals appearances, the basketball world looked at him and reached a unanimous verdict. This is the greatest player we have ever seen. Why? Because he passed the one test that can't be faked, the eye test. No analytics, no advanced metrics, no panel debates. 1 quarter, 1 possession. That was all anyone needed to understand they were watching something that didn't belong to this world. In 1988, Jordan did something that had never been done before and hasn't truly been replicated since. He won MVP, claimed Defensive Player of the Year, and led the entire league in scoring at over 35 points per game. Let that sink in. The most dangerous offensive player on the floor was also the most suffocating defender in the building. Two completely opposite skill sets, both operating at their absolute ceiling inside one person. He wasn't just an athlete playing a sport, he was a force of nature wearing a jersey. Think about what it felt like to be his opponent in 1988. You knew exactly what was coming. He was going to attack, he was going to rise above you, and he was going to finish, and there was nothing you could do to change that outcome. And the moment you thought you'd survive the offensive possession and could finally exhale, he was already back on defense, reading passing lanes, deflecting the ball, stripping your confidence away piece by piece. Jordan didn't just beat teams, he broke their spirit. That's what made 1988 the turning point. He didn't need rings to be recognized as royalty. While every other all-time great, LeBron, Kobe, Durant, and Curry, needed championships, milestones, and accumulated resumes to make their case, Jordan's proof lived in how he moved. His footwork, his hang time, that cold, locked-in stare, the relentless, suffocating will to dominate every single second he was on the floor.
The throne already had a king. The 6 titles that came later weren't what made him the GOAT. They were exclamation points on a story that had already been written. The rings weren't the source of his greatness. They were simply the natural outcome of what everyone already knew. Bird and Magic built the stage, no question, but Jordan transformed the NBA into something that transcended sport entirely. Before his arrival, the league was quietly dying. Late 70s ratings were collapsing, scandals were eroding public trust, finals games were airing on tape delay because casual fans simply didn't care enough to stay up. The NBA was fading from America's cultural conversation until Magic Johnson and Larry Bird dragged it back with a rivalry that was about more than basketball. It was Showtime glamour against blue-collar grit, coast versus heartland, style versus substance. They made the league matter again. And then Jordan took everything they built and launched it into orbit. He didn't just keep the NBA alive, he gave it a pulse the entire world could feel. Every time he stepped on the floor, it was equal parts theater, poetry, and controlled chaos. His hang time made gravity look like a suggestion. His fadeaway became a personal signature no defender could decipher. His competitiveness felt less like a personality trait and more like a force of nature, simultaneously inspiring and terrifying, depending on which side of it you were on. Then the culture exploded around him. The Jumpman logo went from a marketing concept to a global symbol. Sneakers became status. Posters of his dunks became the standard decoration in kids' rooms from Chicago to Tokyo. People who had never watched a single NBA game could identify Michael Jordan's silhouette on sight. That wasn't advertising, that was cultural conversion at a scale no athlete had ever achieved. Magic and Bird may have saved the league, Jordan made it eternal, lifting the NBA from a national television product into a global religion spoken about on playgrounds in New York, streets in Paris, gyms in Manila, and courts across Africa. He turned basketball into something people didn't just watch, they believed in it. That's the real separation. And when people argue that LeBron James faced tougher competition, that's where the narrative begins to fall apart. Jordan wasn't playing in some hollow era. Every single night was a gauntlet. It started with the Detroit Pistons, a team that literally constructed a rule book around hurting him. The Jordan rules weren't a strategy, they were a blueprint for physical intimidation. He absorbed every hit, adjusted, evolved, and eventually dismantled them completely. Then came the Boston Celtics, so loaded with talent that even Jordan couldn't beat them by himself. But he gave them a 63-point masterpiece in Boston Garden that left Larry Bird, a man who chose his words carefully, saying he had just witnessed God disguised as Michael Jordan. After Boston came Magic Johnson and the Showtime Lakers, still the face of the league, still dominant. Jordan walked into the 1991 finals and took the torch from Magic's hands and never gave it back. Look at the names he eliminated when everything was on the line. Clyde Drexler, Charles Barkley, Gary Payton, Karl Malone, John Stockton, Hall of Famers, every one of them. men who believed their time had finally come, all of them left with the same result, a finals loss to number 23. LeBron faced difficult teams, no doubt, but 6 finals losses stand in sharp, unmistakable contrast to Jordan's perfect record. 6 trips, 6 rings, 6 finals MVPs, all of them earned against players now enshrined in the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. LeBron battled great teams. Jordan conquered great players, reducing Hall of Famers to footnotes in a story that was always going to end the same way. And this is where the debate usually dissolves into spreadsheets and efficiency ratings, tools that look compelling on paper but can't measure the actual essence of greatness. The eye test asks a simpler question. When you watched him play, did you believe you were seeing the greatest who ever lived?
With Jordan, the answer didn't require deliberation. It hit you immediately. It was there in the way he floated, the mid-air hand switch in the 1991 finals, the iconic shrug after burying 6 straight threes against Portland, the 1997 flu game where he dragged himself to 38 points on pure will alone, the 1998 dagger in Utah that stopped time. None of those moments needed a single statistic to explain them. They spoke directly to something deeper. You didn't analyze Michael Jordan, you felt him. That's where the divide lives. LeBron's greatness exists in the world of longevity metrics and volume statistics, but playing longer has never meant playing greater. Jordan didn't need 2 decades to build his case. He delivered a decade of compressed, concentrated destruction. 6 championships, 6 finals MVPs, and 10 scoring titles across 13 seasons in Chicago. A peak that didn't gradually decline. It detonated year after year with no visible ceiling. And even when you go to the numbers themselves, they don't weaken the argument, they reinforce it. The highest scoring average in NBA history, 9 all-defensive first-team selections, a flawless record every time the season was on the line. But even those aren't the reason he stands alone. The reason is that the eye test crowned him long before the first ring arrived. Stats can be argued, longevity can be reframed, but the eye test is permanent, and in that arena, Jordan has no company. Every other all-time great carried something critics could point to. Shaquille O'Neal and the free throw line, Kobe Bryant and shot selection in certain stretches, LeBron and years of questions about his jumper, his finals record, and his clutch gene. Every legend had a vulnerability, something that could be circled and attacked. So ask the only question that actually matters. What was Michael Jordan's weakness? Take your time, study the tape, search as long as you want. On the offensive end, you won't find one. Jordan was a complete and total nightmare with every single weapon available and no exploitable flaw. He could punish you from the perimeter, he could attack the rim with violent precision, he could finish over bigger defenders who thought they had position on him. He could make the mid-range look like a layup. There was no safe coverage, no correct answer, no defensive scheme that guaranteed relief. He was simply the most complete offensive player the game has ever seen, and nobody has come close to changing that.